everything, Vicky here with you, and I thought I would do a vlog today. I've been talking to you guys about the fact that my vacation wasn't quite what I expected, and a lot of people wanted to hear about it. I did a video of my flip through of my album, and that will be shown, I believe, next week. I'm running out of videos because of all the stuff that happened. Haven't been making any videos for the past 3 weeks, so this is one of the first new ones that you guys see. Basically, I've used up pretty much all the stuff that I had because I make the videos ahead of time to make sure that I've got enough for you guys, because there's a lot of pressure trying to keep a video a day, and if anything happens then I'm out of videos. So basically I do a lot in advance and I use them up as we go, but now I've used up pretty much all the stuff that I had already prepared for you guys, so now I really need to make more videos. I'm almost finished putting back my my craft area, but let me begin with my trip. So as you know, I was pretty tired. It's been a hell of a spring. I started off with my tooth. I've got an actual hole now in my mouth, and because I had to get it extracted. It was a baby tooth, and it started being loose, and some food got into between the tooth and the gums, and basically started an infection. So we removed the baby tooth, but now I need to have an implant installed. But honestly, with all the crap that's happening, I'm not sure that I want to install it right now. I'm kind of afraid. But I will probably do it because it's not as painful as it's not going to be as painful as the tooth extraction, so should be all good. We'll see about that. So started off with this, and then we got water damage, water infiltration in the house, and so on and so forth, all kinds of other little details that I'm not going to bore you to death. Nothing serious, but just a ton of little things that get under your skin and that, you know, you really need a vacation. So in the end, we decided that we weren't going to get the insurance to do the work on our house, that we were going to do it ourselves. The reason for that is because it was taking forever for the insurance to make some decisions. There's certain materials that I wanted to use. What they were offering was not that. And we started losing faith in the contractors that were supposed to be doing the work on behalf of the insurance. So in the end, we decided that we were going to do it, but that means a lot of weekends working on the house because of the fact that we both work full-time. And so we figured it, you know, we had, before the water infiltration, we had already booked our vacation, and so because of that we thought, well, at least we're going to rest, because obviously if we wouldn't have booked the vacation if it had been the other way around, in the sense that if we had known about the water infiltration, obviously we would have been booked the vacation, but since the vacation was already booked, we decided to go. And so we really were looking forward to this time alone, my husband and I, and just, you know, chill and do nothing. So it started off by the plane was a bit delayed. We got to the resort. It was very late. It was about 11 at night. So they checked us in, and we dropped our stuff into our room fast to go to the buffet because we hadn't eaten. And so we ate hot dogs the first night, and then we get back to our room, and the air conditioning unit had made a huge puddle in under, like, on top of our suitcase and on the floor. And then we get to the bathroom, there's ants in the sink, the toilet doesn't flush. My husband has to actually lift up the cover of the toilet and fiddle in it, which obviously is not, you know, it's one thing to do it for your house, it's a different story to do it at the hotel, especially when you're looking forward to some vacation and some R&R. The plug that was to plug in your electrical stuff in the bathroom was totally loose, like it was actually moving around. The mini fridge had not been plugged in. Because we were VIPs, they had given us some bubbly wine with some chocolate. The chocolate was totally melted. It was disgusting. Obviously didn't eat it. Then the safe didn't have a lock. So I said to my husband, well, we'll sleep, and on top of it, we had 2 double beds, which I wanted a king because we're on vacation, and obviously I want to sleep with my husband, and two separate beds was not what I had anticipated in my mind. Anyway, so we decided, well, we're gonna be changing rooms, so let's not unpack the suitcase. Plus, on top of it, I didn't want any of the ants to get into my stuff, so we basically left everything in the suitcase, just went to bed, and the next day we asked to be moved to another room. Now, it took a very long time for them to figure out if there was going to be another room. At the end, a lot of back and forth, and at 5 o'clock finally at night, we get our new room. So by that time, we're kind of tired because, you know, it's been a long first day and not quite what we had expected. So I said to my husband, well, let's go by the pool and just chill a bit before supper, and then we'll change and get to supper and just, you know, relax. Well, when we get back to our room, the key doesn't fit into the door, so we can't get back into the room, which obviously the door was unlocked when we got there, so we'd never tried it. And they had brought in our suitcase with us and stuff, so we locked the door leaving to the pool, but never tried the key. So then my husband had to go to the lobby and get a new key, managed to get back to the room at 6:45. Our reservation was at 7, so we like almost ran out the door. Was not a relaxing time. And then we get back to the room, we're exhausted, fall asleep. Next morning we wake up, there's no coffee machine in the rooms, which in vacation I like to have my coffee on my little balcony and to just, you know, relax and take it easy before we go and start our day. Well, that's not happening. So we called, and that is on the Tuesday morning. Well, we called and we went and we talked to a few times throughout the week, and finally we got our coffee maker on the Friday afternoon. And we were leaving on the Sunday, so we had 2 mornings of coffee. So that was kind of disappointing. The weather though was beautiful. The beach was really nice. We found a little pool that didn't have a lot of people in it, and it was quite a nice time. I took a lot of sun, and then ended up with sun allergy. So I had, on the Wednesday, I wake up and I'm like, I've got splotches of red all over myself. It's itchy like hell. And so thank God I had some allergy pills, and I knew that it does happen sometimes that I have a bit of an allergic reaction to the sun, even though I put sunscreen and everything, and I put the 30 sunscreen, so it's not like I don't protect myself. But the first time I go out in the sun, I sometimes get those spots, and but never so much. Like I was covered, and I'm like, oh my God, people are gonna think I've got this skin infection. So that day I spent it mostly out in the shade, and yeah, so it was not all the greatest. So that was the Wednesday. The Thursday I wasn't feeling too good. I started feeling like I had fever or something, and I just wasn't doing too good. And thank God my husband had some sinus cold medication, so I took those, and I slept a lot, and it seemed to be better. But then on the Friday I got up and I started feeling like I've got a bladder infection, but you know, I was hoping that it was going to go away, and it didn't. So by the Saturday, I went to see the doctor in the resort to get some antibiotics. So as you can see, like, my vacation was not going the way I had planned, and my poor husband, it wasn't going either the way he had planned, because obviously his wife is not feeling all that great, and that puts a damper on things. And then so I started taking the antibiotics. That made me feel better, but then we were leaving on the Sunday, and I started taking the antibiotics on the Saturday afternoon. So basically the week was over. on this Sunday was a beautiful day. We really took advantage of that last day. We were supposed to take the plane at 7 o'clock at night, so we were leaving the hotel at 3:30. At 3 o'clock, we're in the lobby. My husband realizes that he's forgotten his cell phone in the room, runs to get his cell phone. We're stressed like you wouldn't believe, because the transport is supposed to come anytime to pick us up. And now, like, I'm alone with the suitcase, and my husband's like off, and I've got no way of reaching him, and I'm just hoping that he comes back in time. He comes back like right on the dot at 3:30. And then we were waiting for the transport, but the transport is not showing up. And their speed is not quite the same as we have in North America. They're very laid back in Dominican Republic. Like, it takes them longer to they're not stressed, let's say, as we are here. And which is probably an amazing thing, but when you're getting stressed and everybody's like very chilled and relaxed, it gets on your nerve a bit. And then so at 4 o'clock, no news of the transport, so we called them and we're a bit, you know, stressed. And they tell us, oh, well, your flight has been delayed, so we're picking you up at 11 at night and you're leaving at 3 a.m. in the morning. So now we don't have a room anymore. We get them to put our suitcase in a little room in the meantime, and then we stay in the lobby and we kind of spend the rest of that day in the lobby. We couldn't really go out in the sun anymore because we didn't have our bathing suits, we didn't have towels, we couldn't. So it was not the way we had planned, and by that time we were really tired. So they come and pick us up at 11. We get to the airport, which is an hour and a half away from the hotel. We get there, it's completely deserted. There's like nobody except for a few people from the transport that we were using, which was Sunwing. And they tell us that our flight has been canceled and that they're going to relocate us to a hotel that's 45 minutes away from the airport. And the good thing with this was the fact that there was another person that also showed up at the airport and took the same transport as us, and he spoke Spanish a bit, so he was able to, you know, kind of understand what's going on much more than we could. Because one of the things that I really didn't like in Puerto Plata is that the people that, especially that were working for the flight, didn't really speak English or French. They were mostly Spanish, and which made it very difficult when there's situations like this to understand. And like the transport to bring us to the other hotel, the guy didn't speak English at all. So it really makes it more stressful because you can't really communicate with them. And that's one thing I really want to do, is to learn Spanish, especially if we continue traveling, which I think would be fun. And anyway, so they bring us to the other hotel. There's 2 buses full of people that are waiting to also get a room for the night because of the flight cancellation. We get our room, our little bus takes us to the other lobby of that resort. We get out, and there's this guard with this gun in his hand, and he's the one who brings us to our room, which is kind of strange because, you know, I'm not used to having somebody, a guard with a gun, bring me to my room. And so they open up the door and ask us if everything's fine. We walk in the room. It smells like, you know, those smell of really old place, musty, and it's like one of those rooms that hasn't been renovated in God knows how long, probably since it's been built. And so the furniture is old, everything is old. But you know, we're there for 4 hours basically, because by that time it's like 2 a.m. and we're taking the bus again back to the airport at 7 a.m. So we had to get up at 6, so that means 4 hours of sleep, and we're exhausted. So we go to the bathroom, and the shower curtain is closed, and I'm almost scared to open it up. I mean, if you've seen my videos, you've seen my journaling about my soul book and my nightmares about dirty bathrooms and zombie type of bathrooms. Well, this looked like that kind of stuff. I mean, it was clean, but it was very old, and I was kind of afraid, like opening up the shower curtain, of finding something happening there. But thank God, you know, it was clean. The bed though was covered with a plastic, and then you had the sheet on top, so it kind of was slipping, and it was, yeah, it was just not very comfortable. But at that point, we're just like crashing. We, you know, sleep 4 hours. We get up the next day, and now it's light out. We're in the middle of a resort that we don't know. We don't have a plan how to get around. There's no water in the room that's drinkable, and but that time I'm very thirsty. I need to take some my medication, my antibiotics, and so anyway, we take our suitcase, and we had to go to the first lobby where we were dropped off. We finally managed to find our way, but then we had to walk to the main lobby, and on the way, one of my wheels of my suitcase broke, obviously. I mean, why wouldn't it? Then we get to the lobby, and it's the free-for-all. Everybody's like in a panic mode. We hear horror stories. There's other rooms. Our room was musty, but it was clean. But there's other rooms where there were cockroaches, dirty diapers. It's just like disgusting stories. We're all sitting in the lobby. There's no water for us to take. There's, you know, we get a little coffee, like tiny little coffee, and that's it. No breakfast. And then we know that we've got to take the bus. But when they dropped us off, they didn't take any list of who they dropped off. So they don't know who they need to bring back, which is kind of, you know, stressful, because then you wonder if you're not showing, if you're not there at the right time, or you know, you missed your bus, then you're going to be stuck there, and there's nobody that's going to know that you're missing. So we made sure either my husband or I would stay next to the lobby, so that to make sure, you know, that we weren't like, if one had to go to the bathroom, at least, you know, the other one was there. And then when the buses came, we you know, got into one of the first ones that we could get in. We get to the airport, and 45 minutes later, we go through the security and everything, and we're supposed to take our flight at 11 in the morning. Well, at 10 o'clock in the morning, we find out that the flight is not leaving at 11. It's going to leave at 3. Then at 2 o'clock, we find out that the flight is not leaving at 3. It's leaving at 6. And then we find out that it's not leaving at 6. It's leaving at 7. And then in the end, the flight, the airplane arrives at 7:15. So yeah, we left there. It was almost 8 o'clock. My husband just walked in, so the dogs are getting excited. I'm sorry about that. So anyway, we got in. We got back to Montreal. It was midnight, pretty much. And then we get out of the plane, and of course, the escalator is not working. So we have to go up all the flight of stairs with our little suitcases. And we're exhausted. I mean, 4 hours of sleep, spending the day in the airport. They gave us some voucher for food, but the food was disgusting, like beyond disgusting. I've never had a club sandwich. Like, I ate a bite of it, and that was it. It was not good at all. And they did give us another voucher later on in the day, and to another restaurant, and that one was not bad, actually. Everything tasted much better after the first one. And then so when we got to Montreal, the escalator was not working. Then the turnstile where we're supposed to pick up our luggage, they sent us to the wrong one, so we wasted a bunch of time there before they finally told us, oh, you need to go to the other one, and it's at the other end. At that point, there's a lady that had this small baby plus 2 young children, and she totally lost it with one of the employees from the airport. And because obviously, you know, like, it's very stressful, and her kids were amazing, but, you know, like, she's beyond fed up of all of this. And she just blasted them like so bad, and then she started sobbing, and then they brought a bunch of guards to watch over us. So I think they got scared that we were a bunch of dangerous people. And so then we got out of the airport fairly fast at that point because I think they really wanted us out of there, which was good because that's what we wanted to. We wanted our bed, and that's the first thing we wanted. So I got home, took a shower, and crashed, and off from work, and then I ended up spending it at the airport the extra day. So I had told my boss, well, I'm taking the Tuesday because there's no way I can come into work. I'm way too tired. So I started doing my laundry, put everything in the dryer. The dryer's not stopping, so I go check it out. I open the door, this black smoke's coming out in my face. I start choking because it's really like a fire. Remove all the clothes. It must have been probably at the beginning of it, of what it would probably have caught fire, like big fire, if I hadn't caught it in time. At that point, it's just the machine, like it must have been the motor or something. Anyway, we unplugged everything. Whatever happened was contained in there, but in the process, because my laundry room is my craft area, we had to empty it all out and put everything like in a mess everywhere just to get it out so that we could pull out the machine. And then we decided that we're going to change the hose that goes from the dryer to the outside, but that goes through the garage in my other crafting space. So basically, all my craft area is a disaster. And we have to go and get another dryer. So that's what we did that night, and then like everything was a mess everywhere, and I couldn't put anything back together until the new machine got in and my husband installed it. So that was the following weekend that he installed it, and then I spent the whole weekend putting everything back together. Didn't finish. Then worked all week, and every night I would put back stuff together, trying to get it back together. And then did so most of this weekend as well, but we also started doing the work for the water infiltration. So I'm tired. I'm tired, but at this point, you know, like the only thing we can say is laugh about all the stuff that's happened. Like I said, it's nothing. Everything was caught in time, and there's nobody that's, you know, hurt. Everybody's fine, so it's only material stuff, and it's just a mess. So yeah, and I'm gonna show you what the space in my kitchen looks like. So I'll be turning you around soon. Okay, so I'm back, but this is what I wanted to share with you. So this is part of the water damage. So we had to strip the wall, strip the ceiling, and so everything is opened right now. This is the first weekend that we do this. This is the first room that we're touching because we're gonna need to do the same thing to my living room, and then the downstairs has been touched as well, and that means 2 rooms downstairs. So basically this is gonna be a disaster area for a while, but I think the good thing though is we're doing it in parts, so at least it's not like my entire house is a mess. But you know, a kitchen is pretty important, so you can imagine, like, yeah. So that's it, guys. I hope that you've liked my my vlog. I'm gonna turn you around again. Wait 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm back on around. So basically, I hope that you've liked my vlog, that it answered the questions, and I'm thinking of doing a Q&A because I saw Leanne from Creative Freedom do one, and I really it's Create Freedom on Etsy, but it's actually creatively free to be me, and on YouTube, and she did a Q&A and did it in 3 parts because she got a lot of questions. So I was thinking maybe I should do that. If you guys have questions for me, that would be a great way of answering them. So let me know if this is something that you would like me to do, and if so, you need to leave me some questions so that I've got something to talk about. And that is it. So bye everyone.